back with, I'm calling it just a generic haul, but it's mostly book. But there have been a few things that I have gotten recently that I want to share. And Toothless would like to share his water with you. Gulp, gulp, gulp. See, aren't you happy? Here, I'll share my Coke. We'll be Twinkie Dinks. All right. So, talked about the table runner. Well, what I did, so I'll put that snippet in here. The table runner that I made from Kathy Swanson's pattern was like 18 inches wide, which is completely, it fills my desk that I use like as a table really out here. I use the other thing for my desk, but it completely covers it. And that's just a bit much for me. I like a narrower table runner. So I shrunk it. This one is 15 and a half. And I bought fabrics to do another, this one was going to be more pink and green, but a lot of pink. And it didn't end up happening. I ended up going back for a different green so that I could, because I really wanted a plaid and I couldn't find one. I finally found one. I went to Christmas and there was one that wasn't Christmassy. I was like, score. What is it with Joann's and no yarn dyed plaid? Can I just say, bring back the yarn dyed plaid? Okay, there's that. But then also, when I got that done, the fabric that I had chosen for the borders was too small and it made the whole thing super busy. And so I had to go back and get a bigger border. So but I made it narrower. So this is 15 and a half. So instead of like 10 and a half inch blocks, these are 7 and a half inch blocks. And I totally messed up the offsets. I'll be fair and share. This right here, this is a square. And if you look really close, I don't know if it'll show on there, that square is cut off. This one isn't here, but this one, and I feel like the rest of them probably were. But I don't care. I like it. It looks great on my game cabinet in the living room. So, I mean, I love it. And I'm glad I did it. It feels like it'll fit St. Patrick's Day-ish, but it doesn't look St. Patrick's Day, so it'll be up probably always. And that's okay. But I think it's also kind of sent my living room decor into a different direction than I thought I was going to be going, but whatever. So there's that. And then I also bought, so it's really funny. I was on Etsy. I don't know what I was looking for. I can't remember. Did you get a drink, Neville? Are you nice and you're not thirsty anymore? Okay, pet the dogs. Pet the dogs. So Toothless. I know. Just all the attention. I need all the attention. And yes, and Neville needs some too. I know. This is ridiculous. Okay, go lay down. But I found this. It was just the print. I put it in a frame. Found this. It is Francie Nolan on the fire escape. There's the tree. She's reading from A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Hey. They're just, I'm going to send them outside. You go outside? No? Then you behave. And I really loved it. It is cockeyed on here. So this is a woodcut. The gal carved it into wood and then stamped it. And it's not completely straight. You can see, and it's bugging me. But I'm trying to be okay with it at first. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to see if I can suck it up and deal. If I can't, then it'll come out and I'm going to do a slight trim and make it work. But I really loved it. But they also had, and I don't have them out here. The one I printed, I bought the digital. I was going to print it myself. And when I printed it, I got some weird lines. So my husband has to do the head cleaner thing. So I'll put it here. But it's just a little bookshop. I got a little black frame to match that. And what I want to do is put these on each side. So we built that whole window seat in the back room there. And I want to put it on the bookshelves that frame it. You know, one there and one behind it. I thought it'd be kind of cool, kind of pretty. just to have something decorative there, but nothing too much. So I thought that would be not overdone. But I also got, she had cut out Madeline from the children's book and stamped it on a library card and then wrote Madeline like it was the book. And so I got that for my daughter because she had her housewarming today as of this recording. And so I thought it would be super cute because she's got her little Madeline doll up there in her Madeline book. And, you know, she's kind of got I think she may even have like a little Eiffel Tower or something. It feels like maybe it's an Eiffel Tower pencil hole sharpener or something. I don't know. I feel like there's an Eiffel Tower there. But, you know, she has this little set up there. So I thought, why not? You know, so I went ahead and got that for her too. But I'm not going to put these up until we get that back room. So when Kevin got sick, we moved everything on his side of the room, all my stamp shelves and all that stuff. I moved it all into the back, and it's just in the middle of the floor. It's a nightmare. If I wasn't so just disgusted by it, I would take a video and show you how bad it is because it's so bad. But I don't want to look back at it ever. If I have to come looking for information from these videos someday, I'm going to see that and I'm going to have a heart attack. So I'm not going to do it, but it's bad. I mean, there's like, it's like a hoarder room almost, because there's like, everything's just kind of piled everywhere, you know, and it's just like a little path to get to the freezer, and I mean, it's crazy. But so I figure once it's all done, that's why I let myself buy them. I was like, when it's all done, I can put those up as a reward. This will be great. But then, I don't remember what I was doing, but I was on there. Oh, I know what I was doing. So, who was it? Somebody on Facebook posted this picture of, it's one of the gals from town. She posted that someone had taken a picture of, at Big Lots. We don't have one anymore here, but they had taken a picture of these little planters, and one of them said plant coffin, and the other one it said something like, please pray for me, or something like that. We're super cute, and my daughter is like, she is death to plants, and so I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that for her. And so I went looking for them, and I couldn't find them at first. And so I ended up on Etsy trying to see if I could find this plant coffin. And all I found were planters shaped like coffins. I didn't want that. And so I was like, so frustrated. But in looking for that, I found these, and I bought them for myself. They're bookends. That are plant pots. And I was like, this isn't really going to work, but I was like, that's super cute. I think I want to do that. So I went ahead and let myself buy them. And these will go on something out there as well. I thought they were cute. They're little fun little bookend plant thingies. Isn't they cute? So I was like, okay, why not? We live once. So that is okay, Table Runner's not bookish, but that is the non-book stuff. And then I've had a few books come in this month and last month. And I'm a little nervous about one because I understand it's not as great as I was hoping, but that's okay. So the first one I got was A Savior is Risen by, I'm trying to remember who. It's an Easter devotional by Susan Hill. I don't know who Susan Hill is. I can't remember. I don't remember who Susan Hill is. My brain is freezing. I can't recall, but it's by Susan Hill, even though her name isn't on here, this cover anywhere. You actually have to go into the book to find her name, which I think is a little odd. I don't know. I'm not sure I like that. But I got it because it's a beautiful book. And I've never done an Easter devotional. I've never done a Lenten thing. And so I thought this might be a nice little ease into it. I have no idea anything about this. This one's beautiful. I love that. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know anything about it, but I decided it's something different and I wanted to try it, and I thought it was pretty, and so because pretty, right? So there's that one. A Savior is Risen. This will be, I don't even know when Easter is this year, but this will be what I do for Easter. And then before, I didn't know I had done this, but before I found out that the subsequent Vanderbeeker's books aren't as wonderful as the first one mostly was, even though it actually really was wonderful. I loved everything about it, even what I didn't love, because it was real. But apparently, subsequently, they're not as great. And I don't even know if I'll read it. I didn't know it was already on the way. I'm glad I bought a used copy. But I didn't know it was already on the way, so it took a long time to get here. So I just didn't think anything of it, and then it showed up, and I'm like, oh yeah. So I don't know. It's possible I'll read it, but I'm not sure about that. And then one of the books that I am definitely going to read this year is Emma and the Reasons. I think it's in my plan, like maybe the buzzwords. Yeah. So it's January, February. So it's next month's buzzword challenge book. So, or readathon or whatever. It's next month's. Still need something for January. So there's that. Since that one, I'm going to read that. I don't remember what I was doing and why I was looking, but maybe I was looking up. I don't remember what the buzzword is for it, so I could be wrong. But for some reason, I was looking up Emma and the Reasons, and I discovered there's a book 2. I did not know there was a book 2. This is by Natasha Metzler. Yes. I always want to say Meltzer, and it's not. It's Metzler. So in the first one, there's Emma and her friends. They have reasons why they're all single. And then something else changes that. Well, in this one, it says Kathleen Alexandria Paris has lived at Grace Mission in New York City for over 5 years. She teaches, disciples, and loves on the teenagers like they're all part of her family. Never mind that she hasn't seen or spoken with her immediate family in over 12 years. But the quiet life she's lived is in for some turbulence. Between the arrival of a new staff member who keeps smiling at her and a phone call that leaves her fighting panic attacks, Paris can't help but wonder if there is any way to go back and heal 12 years of brokenness. Yes, because yes, and isn't that cover adorable? I think it's adorable. So, yeah, so when I saw that, I haven't read Emma and the Reasons, but people that I know who I trust, and we tend to agree on stuff. I think she's the gal who told me about the haunted bookshop. And I had only read a very small part of Parnassus on Wheels. I knew about it, but I hadn't read it. And I read a small story from within it and didn't know I had until I read it, But so technically she's also who told me about Parnassus on Wheels. She's the one who told me about Emma and the Reasons. And so I bought it because there's no reason not to. There's no reason not to. So there's that. Yay! Okay. Reading journal can go away. All right. Then I was talking with this author on my podcast. It is Starting Over by Karen Tucci. She wrote this book in 2014 and left it on a cliffhanger. The sequel just came out. Things changed, and I bought this one, and I'm going to read the second one. And then she did this one, When the Dust Settles. It's a sweet romance with a Navy SEAL. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then it says, Olivia Benton has spent the last 6 years raising her 2 children alone after her Navy SEAL husband, Luke, died on a mission. Olivia's love for her husband has kept her from dating. Grady Gunderson, a Navy SEAL captain, spent his younger days in foster care. When he entered the Navy, he welcomed all his new brothers and never dated, fearing he'd never find a woman to stick around. His expertise is finding people who have been human trafficked. The two meet when Grady is on leave. He begins training Olivia's son, who wants to be a SEAL when he grows up. Grady's expertise is put to the test when Olivia's daughter is taken. Through a series of twists and turns, these two learn their meeting may have not been by coincidence. So it's clearly a romance, which, again, isn't like my top genre. But when we were talking and she was describing this book, I was like, I have to read that. And I can't even remember why I was like, I have to read that. But I don't remember what about this one grabbed me. There was something about it. I know she goes home. She, after, her husband dies, she and her daughter go back, live by her dad, and he introduces her to someone. But then there's some heavy stuff that happens, and she deals with some heavy stuff. So I wanted to read them. And of course, she's just getting started again. And I really wanted to support an indie author. So there's that. And then, okay, I'm just gonna go stack wise. So I love Joanne Bischoff so much. Sons on Blackbird Mountain is one of my all-time favorite books. The Gold in These Hills is also one of my all-time favorite books. I like Daughters of the Northern Shore, or North Shore, whatever it is, the sequel to Sons. We didn't love it as much as Sons, but I did really, really like it. I haven't read anything of hers I didn't love. Sons of Blackbird Mountain is phenomenal. And then I saw this last year, I think it was, and forgot about it. And I feel like an idiot because it's Joanne Bischoff. I'm going to read this book. So what? And now she's got another one that just released. The last time I looked, it wasn't in paperback yet. So I'm waiting for that because I can't imagine I'm not going to want to keep it. So it's a Suddenly Sadie adventure. And on this one it says, graduate from college, get married and have children. These have always been checkpoints on Sadie's map of life. But still single in her 30s and weary of unmet expectations, she faces a crossroads. Continue waiting for life to begin or rethink what those checkpoints should be. Determined to find renewed purpose, Sadie deletes her old dating apps, opting instead for a trip to the outdoor adventure store in her small Colorado town. The plan is simple. Find a hobby that offers fresh challenges and experiences, new horizons to be explored, even if it means facing some of her biggest fears inside and out. So begins the first adventure in the all-new chronicles of Sadie McGillis, one woman who strives to redefine what happiness should look like. I think I just said life. It's look like. Yeah. So it sounds like a whole lot of fun, and Joanne wrote it, so I want it. And then while I was searching for links from my last video from F.E. Green, I saw that she had a fantasy by Eyes Unseen, Book 1, Rescue. In a time beyond this one, when much has been lost and more is forgotten, an ancient castle sits unnoticed at the heart of a prosperous land. To see the castle, you simply must ask. But then you will see everything. When Pearl Sterling was 15 years old, her parents disappeared, leaving her a farm to manage and debts to pay. They also left behind a room filled with mythery, storybook tales of an invisible castle which might not be entirely false. 5 years later, Pearl glimpses the castle and her life unravels. She loses her job, the bank reclaims the farm, help appears but with conditions, and Pearl is forced to choose. Will she pledge herself to someone she does not love or risk losing everything she holds dear to seek help from a rumored king? The first book in by Eyes Unseen series, Rescue, ushers readers into an adventurous saga with this coming-of-age tale of courage and choice. With crafted prose and archetypal heroes rescue explores the journey inherent in each person's quest to find purpose and worth in the world. So this, I was like, yes, because yes, it sounds like, it's not quite allegorical, but it sounds like clearly there's some symbolism going to be going on. I mean, I saw it in the synopsis, but I was like, and it's not even long. I mean, it's not a big book, and it's only 176 pages. So yes, because yes. I noticed she actually had a romance, and I was like, what? I didn't get it because romance, but then Embers in the London Sky by Sarah Sundin. I did start this book after I edited our episode and we were chatting about it. I'm only on page 38, but it was in the house and I needed something to do and I didn't want to do anything online, so started reading. It's so far, it's like riveting. I mean, 38 pages, and this woman is fleeing the Netherlands. Her husband's dead. Her son has been given to other people by her husband before he died, which you know about. I'm not giving away anything. And I think it's right down here on the back, or it's definitely in the podcast. So, but I mean, it's already happened, and we're only on page 38. I'm like, yay! So yeah, isn't that a beautiful cover? I love it. So I'm exciting. I am not exciting. I'm excited, and definitely want to read more of that. But I have other things that it's time to read. And then after talking to Danny Petrie, I went and ordered, actually that might not be true. I may have ordered this before I talked to her. I can't remember. But Danny Petrie, she writes romantic suspense. This one is being, I think Bethany House has thriller about it on it in like the subtitle or something. So there's that. But ooh, does this sound cool. So, taunting riddles, a deadly string of heists, two broken hearts trapped in a killer's game. Christian O'Brady was pulled into a life of crime at a young age by his con artist parents. Now, making amends for his corrupt past, he has become one of the country's foremost security experts. When a string of southwestern art heists targets one of the galleries Christian secured, he is paired up with a gifted insurance investigator who has her own checkered past. Andy Forrester was a brilliant FBI forensic analyst until one of her colleagues destroyed her career, blaming her for mishandling evidence. She now puts those skills to work investigating insurance fraud, and this latest high-stakes case will test her gift to the limit. Drawn deep into a dangerous game with an opponent bent on revenge, Christian and Andy are in a race against the clock to catch him. But the perpetrator's game is far from finished, and one wrong move could be the death of them both. So yeah. Come on. Riddles. I'm so excited. But also because I think it takes place in New Mexico, if I recall correctly. And I'm excited. Really, really, really excited. It's Jeopardy Falls Book 1. And I think, did she say there's going to be 4? I think she said there's going to be 4 books. I think. Pretty sure she said there's going to be 4. So, yeah. Really neat cover. Okay, anyway, I'm fine, everything's fine. Yeah. And then finally, this one was on sale, and I can see why. It was on sale on Amazon, and it's actually damaged. It came with, I don't know if I can show it, but you can see there's a thing there, and then there's also one here that it's damaged, but it was only like $9 on Amazon. That's probably why. But I went ahead and got it because I had wanted to read it. just the title was fascinating. But anyway, it says mere words can't end their family's feud, but the Campbell heir and the Bradshaw heiress plan to write a future together. Okay, that isn't what I remember. Huh. Buffalo, New York, 1924. Laura Bradshaw adores stories with happily ever afters. But since her mother died 7 years ago, the Bradshaw Shoe Company heiress has been as good as locked away in a tower. Her overbearing father cares little for her dreams, throwing himself instead into his tireless takedown of his competitor, the Campbell Shoe Company. However, Laura has been gifted with a reprieve, a mysterious friend with whom she's been exchanging letters. So you've got mail meets shoes, which would be like shop around the corner or in the good old summertime meets shoes, but whatever. As heir to the Campbell Shoe Company, Isaac Campbell is a sought-after bachelor who never felt an inkling of desire for the women who constantly bat their eyes at him. His thoughts are consumed by an oak tree in the Buffalo Zoo, or rather, the mystery woman he exchanges letters with, courtesy of the tree. She's been one of Isaac's only joys in a life consumed by his father's tireless hatred of Bradshaw. A hatred that Isaac is coming to realize may affect him more personally than he ever imagined. When Laura's father orchestrates a match between her and an important business owner, she resolves to pursue her only chance at freedom. But Isaac believes their story isn't bound for a tragic ending. He's certain there's more to the Bradshaw-Campbell feud than meets the eye. This is what got me. And I read this part somewhere else. Anyway, and he won't stop digging until he uncovers the truth that might bridge the divide between him and the woman whose words have captured his heart. So I must have read a synopsis somewhere, and then I went looking, and the book was on sale. Because, and I don't mean this synopsis, I mean somebody else's. Because the feud and the letter exchange is what I remember reading about. And then, and I think, now that I think about it, I think it was a small teaser image with just a little bit of information about it. But it sounds like it's going to be a little sappier than I was expecting. It is Thomas Nelson, which means, if you'll notice, I saw no faith there. But Rachel Fordham, I think, has had faith in her books in the past, if I recall correctly. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a shot. At that price, I was willing to. I need a drink. My throat's catching. But anyway, so, I got a few cool little things. And I'm looking forward to getting that room back there done so that I can put some of these up. But yeah. So have you found any cool new books that, you brought home? I don't have any good used ones this time. I just realized that they're all new. That's kind of sad. I need to go bookstore shopping. Kevin can walk now, so, can't walk a lot, but he could walk around a store and then sit in a chair with a book while I keep walking around the store. But that would mean we'd actually have to leave town, or I'd have to go over to the Red Rock. But I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, obviously I have a healthy stack of new books to add to my shelves once I get this room clean. And that'll be cool. I don't think I have a lot more coming. I know I have at least a couple more coming. But hey, I have new books to read, and that's the best, right? So we're just gonna set them aside and pretend like it's not a big deal, and I'll see you later.